Hello everyone and welcome to Libre's Custom Knives channel. Today we'll be talking about making tools to make knives. We'll not be talking about knives in this particular video. And specifically we'll be talking about heat treatment ovens. Now a knife is only as good as its heat treat, and although some people use coal-fired forges and whatnot for heat treating their knives, if you want to work with anything that's a tiny bit more exotic than your regular plain carbon steels, a coal-fired forge is not going to cut it. So you need to build yourself a proper electric heat treatment oven. So let's talk about things you're actually going to need. The first thing you're going to need are these. They are insulating fire bricks. You want to be getting grade 23 of them. And depending on the size of a kiln you're actually going to be making, my kiln used about 25 of them. If you want to make a big sword length kiln, obviously you're going to need more, or if you're building a smaller one, you're going to need less. But 25 is a good estimate to guess if you want to end up with a kiln whose working chamber is about 45 centimeters long, which is what mine's going to be. So you want to be getting grade 23s because they are much lighter and as such much better insulating than grade 26, 28, 32, 34s, etc. The higher grades they get better for higher temperatures, but because we're only going to about 11 to 1200 degrees centigrade at the very top of our operating range, we don't really need a lot of them, and grade 23s are certified to 1260, if I'm correct, degrees centigrade. So they will do perfectly fine. Another thing you're going to need is you'll need a tool to cut them. And probably you want to be using a tenon saw, and I'll tell you right away, go to your local hardware shop and buy a new tenon saw, the cheapest one you can find, because you're going to destroy it. And I put some pictures over here to show you how the saw looked brand new, actually how the teeth of it looked brand new, which you can probably see right now, seen all nice and sharp and whatnot. And this is how the teeth look after you've finished cutting your bricks. As you can probably guess now, the bricks are extremely abrasive and they will tend to destroy whatever cutting tools you're going to be using. That's why I said get a new cheap saw so you're not shy of throwing it out at the end of it, because it'll be pretty much useless. Another thing that you'll be using, and I'll have to take you out of the tripod for this, okay, you will be building a frame. Let's get rid of the tripod. And this is the frame for my actual kiln. It is aluminium angles and aluminium sheet construction. As you can see, it's still empty on the inside, but we'll be filling it up later with all of these guys. Okay, you want to, of course, if you have a welder, which I don't unfortunately, you may want to be making it out of steel angles and sheet steel, and that will make it an extremely heavy-duty construction. However, aluminium will do perfectly fine for whatever we're going to be using it for. Now, as you can imagine, probably this is going to be the opening to the kiln. Actually, it's going to be much smaller when the bricks are in place. There's going to be another set of 4 bricks closing over here as a door. Hinges on one side and some sort of a closing mechanism on the other side. Another very important thing is there's going to be electronics and heating elements, obviously, about which we're going to speak probably in a later video, where I'm going to show you how to calculate what sort of a heating element you actually need. Depending on the power supply you've got, if you're running it off the regular 230, 250 volt AC supply, single phase, you are limited in how powerful your kiln can be, and therefore you want it to be as well insulated as possible, because you don't want to be losing a lot of heat. Now, ideally, after I finish building mine, once it's firing at 1100 degrees centigrade or so, I'll be able to put my hand on top of it, and it's just going to be barely warm, because that's how well insulated it should be. Right, so at the moment, this is all riveted construction. As you can probably see, there are rivets all around the place. And the lid is secured with these self-drilling, self-tapping screws all the way around. That way, once it's actually built and something goes wrong with it, I can always take it apart for cleaning, inspection, or repairs if necessary. The heating elements, because of the temperatures they're firing, they tend to burn out once in a while. You know, life isn't easy when you're firing at 1200 degrees centigrade. So at the moment, I'm gonna take off the lid, put you in a bit of a time lapse over here, so you don't have to bore yourself watching it, and see how. And I'll show you what's inside, and show you how everything will be put together. If you give me a second, there we are. There we go. And there we are. So that's the inside of the heat treatment oven. As you can see, there's some rubbish inside of it, which we're going to have to be clearing out. And let me just put some bricks inside of it so you can get an idea of how everything is going to sit. Stay with me. And there we are. Okay, so this is how the brick arrangement is going to be. As you can see, there will be some gaps over here, and on the top there's some relief. All of that is going to be filled up with this stuff. This is Vermiculite, or Vermiculite, however you want to pronounce it. It is a very light material that is very good for high temperature applications, and it is a very good insulator. So that's what we are going to be using. Ideally, I did not get the best bricks I could. The best ones are manufactured by Thermal Ceramics. I couldn't get those, so I got the next best thing effectively. And I'll be making sure that the lack of insulation from these bricks is backed up, if you like, with the Vermiculite all the way around the top. Because, well, to be honest with you, we are in an all wooden and plywood shed, and if you have something inside here that's gonna get really hot on the surface, that could be a fire hazard very quickly. I do have fire extinguishers, but you know, there may be a time when I may need to leave this unattended while it's cooling down over several hours, for example. Okay, and here is the actual firing chamber. As you can see, everything's a bit wonky at the moment because I don't have any support in the corners over there. They are just as empty as these ones on the top here. And as you can see, this is going to be the actual chamber. The heating elements eventually are going to go into the walls to the sides over here. And I estimate, but I will show you all the math I'll be using, I estimate that this kiln should be about 2, maybe 2.2 kilowatts in power. Well, that is probably pretty much it that we've done, that we've covered over here. Just trying to think if there's anything more. Nope, don't think so. Okay, well, I'll see you guys next time. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll try to answer them to the best of my knowledge. And have a lovely day. Take care.